Hey, how's it going, folks? My name's Matthew, aka EZBOT, and we're back with another live stream. Today we're going to talk about polymetric patterns in the Electron ecosystem. This applies to a lot of different groove boxes, but we're going to do it on there's my dog, just joining the stream. We're going to be doing that on Digitakt and the Syntakt. Gotta love the dog, right? But before we jump into that, let's acknowledge our lovely sponsor. Today's stream is sponsored by Distrokid, our favorite online music distributor, and we're going to talk about that a little bit further. There's always something cool to talk about with Distrokid. We'll jump into that much later in the stream. Hello, how's it going, folks? Welcome to the live stream. I'm very glad you're here. Happy to be back. It's another Tuesday. We do have something cool coming up today. It is the last Tuesday of the month, which means it's Modbang Tuesday, which means that there's a live show that I host in Fremont, here in Seattle, Washington. And let's take a look at who's playing today. Check out this lovely poster made by Blake's. Starting off the show later this evening, we have Robert Tesson playing, then Shoye, then we have Arya Bear playing, and then Blake's. So some really great performers. I believe it's going to be a lot of techno and some like breakcore, drum and bass stuff. All hardware, no computers allowed. Those are the rules for Modbang events. So that's pretty cool. That's coming up. But yeah. But let's jump into what we're talking about on the stream here. So let's switch on over. Here we are taking a look at our Electron mothership here, and we're going to talk about pattern scale. And one of the bugs with pattern scale when it comes to using infinite pattern scale, with the Octatrack being the master clock, because it's something that needs to be addressed as well. But let's take a look into it. So if we go, all this random stray hairs. If we go function page, and we take a look at our pattern scaling, let's go to a completely fresh pattern, right? So when you're in a brand new project on any of the Digi devices, including the Octatrack, it has its own pattern scaling settings down here in the chain behavior. And this is partly one of the bugs, is this chain behavior with these chain behaviors. They don't interact well when it comes to infinite scaling. We'll talk about that, but it's not a big deal. There's ways around it. Hi, Gemma. Yeah, right. So when you first load up a new project on any of your newer Electron boxes, your pattern scale is by default set to this master scale length. 16 steps. Every pattern on it is 1 bar long at a 16th note resolution on your step sequencer. This is not convenient for anything but programming the simplest of drum beats. So, not very usable. First thing that we do typically when we start a new project, we open this up, we say function yes on all the boxes so they all can share the same pattern scaling. And then we go in and I usually adjust my master length. I usually bring it up to 128 so that I can get a 8-bar scaling for all of my tracks. But then I can individually change the track scale, now that I'm in this per track scaling, for every single track, which is really useful. I can get odd times and use odd numbers for some scales. I'll have, like, maybe my kick drum doesn't need to be 64 steps long or 128 steps long. Maybe it only needs to be 32, or the snare only needs to be 32, or whatever, or the hi-hats. Something, whatever. Any instrument I choose, I can have it be its own pattern scaling. And that's really useful, right? Very useful in writing dynamic sounding rhythms. However, there's another way to go about this. And the other way to go about this is to set your master length to infinity. And this isn't something I like to do very often. That's partly because of a pattern scaling issue that happens with the Octatrack. But if you set your master length on your machines to infinity, and then I use an odd number on one of my tracks, then that track, say I set one of these tracks to 7, right? If I was using a master length of 64, 7's not going to go into 64, so it's going to count 7 as many times as it can, and on the last count that doesn't go into 64, it's going to reset at the end of 64 steps and go back to the 1. This would still be considered polymetric because it is counting 7 over and over, but really it's a weirder scale than that because it does reset on the 1. What we're going to be doing today is taking a look at polymetric rhythms And in particularly, we're going to be taking a look at true polymetric rhythms. A polymetric rhythm is a rhythm that will fit with your BPM and your music, right? To be useful, it's a rhythm that has its own scale length. You know what I mean? So like it's a 9-step rhythm. It could be an 8 and another one is a 16, but for it to be polymetric, we'd want it to be odd and the other one maybe to be even. And then they will repeat or play together. By using these polymetric rhythms on the infinite scale, a 7-step track will never repeat back to the 64, like won't reset at 64. It'll just keep redoing 7s. So if I have one track that's doing 7s and another one that's doing 9s and another one that's doing 11 or 3s and 5s, we're going to have these rhythms. They're going to cycle individually with their own metrics infinitely by being set to the infinite scale length. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So if you use the infinite scale length and you don't turn on this thing that says CHLEN, this stands for change length. If you don't use your change length, the pattern will never change. So if I queued up another pattern, I would have to hit the stop button, go to the next pattern, and hit play. But if I use the change length, this is an override of the master length, and it allows me to have a change length like set to 128. So if I have this infinitely repeating melodies, but I have the change length set to 128, I can hit the next pattern and it will queue up after 8 bars. That's pretty useful, right? That's actually usable in a live music context. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the bug that I wanted to mention is that if I do this and I set the change length to 128 and the change length to 128, and I set this to its own change length that's also 128 and or at the project scale level, right now it's set to pattern length, and the pattern length is 128 steps. The problem that we run into here is that the Octatrack, when it sends its program change for the patterns to queue, these don't listen to it the first time around. They wait the entire 128 to go to the next one, making it take 16 bars for it to go. But if I do it from these machines, it works as intended. So there's some master change length scaling issue that happens between these two units when this is the master. So keep that in mind. If you want to do this and use the Octatrack, I recommend you use one of these as your master clock and send it to your Octatrack so that they work well together. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. We're doing some educational stuff, but we are going to write some music. We're at least going to play with these polymetric rhythms and trig conditions to make it even more interesting, of course, and percentage chance to make it even more interesting and really get something that seems like it's just never ending, always changing. And I think this is a lot of fun with melodic elements as well. So this actually would be a really great experiment for us to practice with the Digatone, because it's just got these really great sounds in it for doing this kind of stuff, just FM synthesis in general. We do have FM synthesis in our Syntakt, so we can play with that, but Digatone excels at this kind of stuff particularly, especially if we were to also incorporate using an arpeggiator, which would give us some really great sounds, because arpeggiators are awesome. We don't have that. We have to program an arpeggiator from scratch on the Syntakt, and it sucks, but it works, but that sucks. We want the arpeggiator. It makes me mad at Electron that they didn't put an arpeggiator in here when I know they can. They choose not to. They put it in the Digatone so that we get a Digatone. Give us all the things. You know? Please, give me the things. Okay, well, let's get into it. So I am going to start with something really simple and melodic, just so we have something kind of pretty going in the background. So I'll start on track 1, and we'll grab something like the Toy. I think the Toy engine's really great. We're set at infinite. Let's go ahead and bring our change length to, 128 on both these machines, so that they do change after 8 bars when we want to move on to the next part of our pattern. And I'm going to set the scale of track 1 down to 7. So our first pattern scaling is 7. It's an odd number, which means it's not going to go into our even count of 128, which is good. This is what we want. So we're going to use we'll use something to ground our track. We'll use maybe on the kick drum, which we'll do on the Digitakt. Maybe we'll do an actual 4 on the floor kick drum to kind of give us like a sense of, you know, stability. I do have the tempo set. Oh, it's at 120. The tempo's at 120. I thought I was at 170 from a different moment in time when I was working on this stuff. Okay, so here we go. Let's just put in something. Let's use our lovely scaling and keyboard fold that we have. Let's go to G minor, because it just works so damn well. Keyboard fold. Cool. We're going to use this. I'm going to use record plus stop. We're going to go into step record standard to make this really easy on us. So I can just hold function and now just program a note. That should be it. Yeah. Look at that. It's going to repeat forever. Never resetting from 7. There we go. This is going to be nice for us. Let's go function amp, go into our reverb, make the reverb real big, but let's high pass it significantly because it can get really muddy. Over to the delay, let's do the same thing, turn ping pong on, make it quite wide, not 100% wide, but a lot wider. Bring the feedback up to about 85. We don't want to go too high, we don't want it to self-oscillate, or feedback, I mean. And also high pass it. Let's give this some reverb. We are playing at 120, but why not? Why not? 120 is the rhythm of love. The rhythm of love. Okay, I want to like parameter lock these steps so they sound different on each step. So let's go. Let's function yes to save this into a temporary area in case we don't like what we do here. And cool. Maybe. Okay. Next bell tone, we'll use the amp page to kind of chill that out. This one, maybe. Brings volume down, filter it a bit. And then let's give him some stereo space, a little bit over here. Maybe we start him off like far left, and then it comes down, and then goes down, and then this is the middle, and then it goes back over, and then it goes over a little more, and this goes further over, and here's what we got. Cool. I feel like this is already a happy place for me. Okay, let's go to the next one and start this up. The next one, let's do 9, but let's make the scale go much slower. And let's pick a new machine. Or maybe we want to get... Hello. Oh, thanks. I use the tone for bass stuff all the time. It's an FM engine, and it sounds a lot... It sounds pretty close to like having a nice ladder filter on a sawtooth. Just by default. All right, let's do something with something rhythmic. I'm gonna use these like little click sounds, like tick 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 tick. And you like my demonstration of what that's gonna sound like? We're gonna go over to 5, and I think I have like Well, we'll load some clicks. Clicks. Let me get this click. Okay. Yeah, I think I want to actually go into my samples and do it from here. Yup. That's cool. Cool. All right. Load to project, load 4 samples. All right, now let's put those down. On this track, we'll make it 9. And we'll skip one. Go click, click, click. And then we'll do on number 9. Are these the same? Alright, I like where I am already. This is definitely the kind of stuff I like doing on Electron boxes. This is what drew me into like the Digitakt. When I first got the Digitakt was like that I could do stuff like this, because I can't keep time as well as these machines can, that's for sure. Just very quickly, let's just hear what happens if we throw a kick down on top of this. If this wasn't so, like, pretty, this would be a great way to start a techno track. We could speed it up. Let's see what happens if we make this not so pretty. How would I even do that? Push the machines, I guess. That sounds pretty cool. I go to the chord one. There's so much exploring I can do. Function, no, let's go back to where we were. No, I mean, we can leave the kick on there. Let's just mute it for now. Let's get another, like, sound going. Let's make this one be 13 steps. And, let's just, we'll go, yeah. Really confuse everybody here. Just granulate it. That's pretty sick. That's like the depth down on the mix grain here. I like that. We'll revisit that later. This sounds much cleaner though. All right. Let's get more polyrhythms going. Let's do like a 5-step here. Now we can try and do a odd scale with something that's really long instead of these short textures or short textures, short scales. Let's try like I don't know, 61. See what happens here. This is gonna get weird. We'll use our keyboard for this too. I want the trig length to be like 16th notes, or 16 steps, a bar long each. Okay. That'll fit in the scale, being a half semitone below the... I can't remember. All right, let's see. 1, 16. Somebody want to adopt my dog right now? What if we did this? Even make this have an odd scale. We'll match the pick track to it. What was it? 13? 13 and 13. Nice. what else I really like to play with when I'm making music that sounds like this? Is playing with the utility noise engine. Let's go over here. We use, I guess we could use 10 for this. Go to the utility noise, or let's, yeah, we're gonna use the noise. Using the utility noise, or maybe we could try the impulse. I mean, this is why that sounds dope. Could just have something that does that. We could just set a trigger on this filter that just brings the filter down. We'll go odd. Let's go 17. No, let's keep this one short. Let's go like, let's do 10. So we'll go trig, LFO on, LFO off for the rest. LFO set to frequency, trig on, ramp down. This is what I'm talking about. This is literally exactly what I wanted it to do. You like my hand dancing? This is cool right here. Just maybe if we bring this back to like just being like maybe we'll slow this one down. feel like I want to get like a pad in here or something. This is so good. This is so sick. I think I want to get like some sort of pad now, like a pad that changes the chord shape twice, because anymore is going to be too much. We'll have it changed twice, but it's going to be, we'll never know the change. We'll never know when it happens because we'll have it on an odd time with the infinite scale. And then we'll copy this pattern and duplicate it, and we'll demonstrate actually using change length as a tool to move through a master infinite scale. That's the goal. That's our big goal today. I'm gonna save this because I really like it. Let's make a chord engine. Turn the sucker on. Let's do like 55, why not? This will go 55. So we want like what, 27? And then another one that's 28 on step 28. deal with that. Hold on. Oh, it's this. Wait, no, is that? Hang on. Let me see. Oh, it's at 1/2 scale. There we go. And then the next one will be here, and we'll go. Let's get like some huge sounds now, some big stuff. We could go to the analog engine. We could do it with the bits engine, I think. Sawtooth. LFO. Tune. G minor. I can put that on this keyboard. Now we can program an odd scale of this one. We'll do 63. Say like, that sounds nice. matter. We'll have it go slowly. Bring their percentage down. And now it'll just kind of randomize itself. Not the cleanest move there, but it's like I might have been clipping a little bit here and there. Turn that down for you a little bit. Okay, so now let's copy the pattern. I mean, we could keep working on this. I probably will even copy this one. We'll go pattern 11, paste, 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 paste. Okay, and now let's make some changes to this a little bit. Let's go over here and change this one's number to like 9. And I think we'll leave some of the percussion the way they are. We could change this to 7 and add some new notes for the 303. And we'll make it change the sample out. Now we can see what it's like to get, they're distinct enough at this moment, even with these minor changes, that we can kind of see what happens when we do this. So, whoops, did I change banks? I didn't mean to do that. I want to be on pattern 9, or no, pattern 10. Okay, and this wants to be on pattern 10. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to manually change them because the Octatrack's going to screw it up, sadly, for this infinite scale thing. But we're going to just let it play for a minute. And I'm going to change the patterns on these both, and they'll change at the same time correctly. we go. Infinite scale, and the pattern's changed right. We moved into a new pattern, also with these wild, wonky rhythms. Pretty sick, right? Like this it's a sick workflow to you're just playing with numbers, setting your track master length to infinity and setting the change length to something that's musical. For me, I like to work in 8 bars. And then just programming using math and some scales. And it's just very easy to come up with something that sounds, I don't know, very interesting and musical and pretty, especially pretty. We like it when it's especially pretty. The tune should be titled Desperately Looking for the One. Well, that's kind of the demonstration that I wanted to do. I wanted to show that off. We can keep working on this and what have you, but let's take a little break from this for a second. One thing I want to point out, new on the table, bass compressor. So I have a bass, and also point out how lame it is that the Syntakt can only take in stereo audio. So I have a dual mono output from here, splitting into stereo, just so I could get my 303 into my Syntakt. It's a total pain in the ass. I'm not going to use a summy mixer in that. Anyway, it worked. I mean, it works. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I had to spend money just to make it so I could use a monophonic instrument with the Syntakt. Even though this does have stereo, but this compressor is not stereo. Anyway, I'm using this compressor. You can see it doing its work. I love that it shows that signal. But the reason I'm using this bass compressor with my 303 is that when I go to really, it keeps all the notes squished so that you can hear the quiet notes as loud, or what would be quiet notes as loud as the loud, squishes the loud notes down because they can be really screeching and ear piercing. And this prevents that from happening. So it just sounds even. Even when I bring it, the filter cutoff way down, it sounds so good. My God, it took me a minute to figure out the perfect settings for it. But I feel like these settings I have are really nice. Just made the 303 just so much more usable. I've been looking for compressors for this device for a while. I ended up picking this one up because Mikey, this is the one Mikey 303 uses at all his shows, and his 303 is, anything 303, I always, whatever Mikey tells me is best is I go for, and he loves this one. I do like this one too, it turns out. I mean, Empress makes really nice quality stuff, but I really do like being able to see this. Not just because it's a nice light show, but like it tells me that it's working, the signal's coming through. I don't have anything else that's giving me a VU meter of my audio, so it's like, this is an instant indicator. I guess I do have this up here that does do that, but it sounds great. It does a great job. I have the tone coloring turned off, otherwise it sounds like this when I turn it on. We can kind of hear how this, mute everything else. This is the tone color. Or is that the sidechain one? Yeah, tone to color. It kind of, when I set it on tone, it's very clean, bright. This mutes it a bit. I think it's just adding more harmonics, a little more distorted, but it's like, kind of sounds like it's getting filtered a little. I don't know if you can hear the difference, I can. Anyhow, I think it's dope. I'm glad I picked it up. Very much like this. I almost picked up the wrong one. I'm glad I got the bass compressor. I almost snagged just the guitar compressor one. Probably would have done about the same thing, honestly. But this is supposed to have a better envelope follower for low end. But let's say what's up to the chat. What's up, chat? What's going on, folks? How's everybody doing? I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of how to use track scale with your master length set to infinite so that you could get endlessly, I mean, they repeat, they're just polymetric patterns. And if we add trig conditions and parameter lock, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, and percentage chance, then we really have something that is entirely random all the time. I mean, just setting something in 1616 and putting on a random chance makes it random anyway, right? Because it's random. But especially when we do polymetric stuff, we have these cool little polymetric motifs going through the music that sometimes your brain can latch onto like one of them and just go like, oh, I hear that one. And then you can stop listening to that and then focus on another one, especially the melodic stuff. And you can focus on another little polymetric motif. And they're just like little soundscapes for you to like dive into, and just, that's what's happening to me when I listen to that stuff. I'm just focusing on one, and then I'm like, oh, let's listen to the 9. Okay, let's listen to the 11 over here. Especially if we pan them around the stereo field, if we made like 9 on the left and 11 on the right. I think that would be pretty useful too. All right. Matt, give me the things. What do you mean? Give you what things? How do I wish I could like highlight the chat or something. 15 minutes in and my brain is already broken. Well, hopefully you can just rewatch this and we'll all click for you. Blake, you love this. That's good. What's up, Blake? Gooey Dougie. Giorgio M would be proud of your clicks. I love clicky sounds. Like, I really do love clicky sounds. What's up, Kurt? Yes, it means odd length sequences will never reset mid-sequence. That's right. That's what the true polymetric will be. We have a 7 and a 9-step sequence so far. Okay, I'm going way back because now we have a whole bunch of these. The clicks are definitely very pleasing. I agree. Some RuneScape vibrato and I'm here for it. Clipping is fun. Does that mean it was clipping or were we just parroting what I was saying earlier? Greets from Rotterdam. What's up, Rotterdam? Any speculation, guys, on what Electron might be announcing at Superbooth? I think there's already plenty of speculation out there about that, right? I mean, didn't we have the great speculatory event already from Tommen? I don't think there's anything else to speculate on. I think that's the only one I'd be speculating on. But I don't know. Could be something else. I don't even care. I don't care what they release. Just give us something. We need something. I want something new. I want something big. I want a big event. That's what I want. I don't want another like models device or something, even though I love the models devices, but I would love it to be a Digitakt Mark II or a Digatone Mark II. Either one of those. Give it to me. Or an Octatrack. We're not getting an Octatrack Mark II. Let's just get that out of the way. It's not happening. Also, let's not forget this. Maybe Trader Joe's would sponsor me. I feel like Trader Joe's would sponsor me compared to LaCroix. LaCroix doesn't care about me at all. Trader Joe's does. We shop at Trader Joe's a lot. Alexandrite sponsored me. Thanks. You're my new sponsor. What would you like me to say, Alexandrite? You're the best? Because you are. You're the very best. The best there ever was. Ruffian, I used your last template Saturday. It made me act like I knew what I was doing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the whole point. You know, I was just having this conversation with my partner, and she like understands this stuff because I communicated about it all the time, but she doesn't make music, but she does understand these musical concepts because I've been explaining it to her for years. And we were talking about the performance templates. And it was even her idea years ago for me to share them because I was just making them for me. So you can thank her for everybody having them because it's all because of her. Otherwise I wouldn't know. I just didn't even think of it. But we're having a conversation about the new Performance Mixer 3.0 template and how I keep going down these iterations where I have all these different versions of these templates. Some of them immediately are like, this is the most ideal thing I can have. But I realize the more that I play with the templates, as I'm playing more shows and more shows, I have these really cool experimental features that I implement into them, like live looping the A and the B inputs separately and then layering them on top of each other, or live looping and chopping the audio up live and then transitioning over to a chopped up version. And there's all these cool concepts. And you can't really do them. You could potentially do them on a per bank basis. Like you could, but it would be so much work, and I'm not going to do that without somebody developing some like Rusty developing his Octatrack software. If he finished that, I would copy and paste like 5 or 6 templates into a single template. It would be really cool. But I'm not going to do it by hand. It's just ridiculous amount of work. So, but anyhow, I was talking about the templates and talking about the newest one and how I got rid of one of the loopers, and this originally was the performance template 3.0 was supposed to be Techno performance template 2.0. But then I was like, I don't want to call this the Techno performance template because I don't want people to get the idea that it's just for Techno. Like it's not just for Techno, it's for everything. But adding the noise sweeps with the comb filters, I feel like was the missing touch, because the only other device I know of is this and like other Chaos Pad devices or the RMX 1000. And yeah, those devices and maybe a DJ mixer that have built-in noise sweeps. It's one of the more experimental ones. they're so incredibly useful that now this is the only template I really want to use because I want to have those sweeping buildups. I don't know. I can't. I love that. I can't get around it now. Now I'm obsessed with noise sweeps. And I just want to use it in all the music. But I guess once upon a time I thought that like noise sweeps buildups were like cheesy because I associated it with like cheesy EDM when I was a rocker musician, which I still am, but like I've definitely split into two worlds. I can't be that person anymore and do this at the same time, right? So it's like I had to evolve. But there was a point in time where I would have cringed at myself using a noise sweep in my music. But not anymore. Now I'm like, that sounds awesome. I have so many of them in here. They're great for starting a track, like having this, like for instance, having this be an intro to a track. Let's take some of these elements out. Letting it build up. This is my intro. Cool. Going back to what the point of the stream was, because the title of the stream is Using Infinite Scale to Create Mutating Polymetric Patterns. This is a real mouthful. Maybe I should change that title. It's like, what? Mutating polymetric patterns. Maybe I should say mutating patterns. We'll see. My lord. Just to revisit that, in case anyone doesn't understand what that means, is that there's polyrhythm and there's polymetrics, and they're two distinctly different ideas, and we often say one meaning the other all the time. Polyrhythm and polymetrics are not the same thing. Polymetric is what you can do on the Digitakt and Syntakt and Digatone and Octatrack. You can do polymetric stuff. You can't really do polyrhythm stuff on here. Not as easily. You can kind of like, you could sequence it, but a polyrhythm would be having something like, say it's a three ticks equals the same as 1/16th note, like fitting three ticks into a 16th note. That would be a polyrhythm because that's a different rhythm. It's so hard for me to even explain, but that's how it works. We're still using 16th notes and 8th notes and all that stuff in polymetrics. In polyrhythm, you can have different note divisions entirely, move pretty much at different tempos, so to speak. That would create a polyrhythm. It's like you could have a 90 tempo with a 120 tempo. You could create a polyrhythm there, but not with polymetrics. Polymetrics is just the scale of the pattern itself, just the metric of the pattern. Hopefully that kind of clears it up for you. I've watched a lot of these like Indian music rhythm videos, and they're like the masters of polyrhythms. And I don't know if you ever see it. It's like they'll like, I can't even do it. It's so crazy what they can do. It's amazing. Watch those videos if you really want to understand polyrhythm and how complex that actually is. It is way more complex than polymetrics. Yeah, and that's why you can't do triplets in Electron. You can, okay, so there is one way you can do triplets in Electron with the retrig function. You can, and by parameter locking your triggers 48 to the left and the next one 48 to the right. And that will create triplets. But because of the way these are designed, they're designed to work in metric scales, or in a single metric scale. OMX27 can do, the new beta sequencer for the OMX27 can do polymeters and polyrhythms? Wait, there's a beta for the OMX? For this? There's a sequencer? There's no sequencer on this. He's building his, oh my god. This thing is so cool. I have 2 of them because they're so cool. That's awesome. Hopefully I explained that well enough. I don't like explaining stuff that I can't articulate perfectly. Like, I'll just avoid explaining that, but I've never been able to, like, articulate the difference between polymetric and polyrhythm very well. Like, I'm not a drummer, so it's not, like, just the most obvious thing for me to be like, oh, I just get it. You just get it. Like, some sort of language that I can translate to somebody who doesn't understand it at all. But, I understand it, and I'm doing my best to articulate it. Yes, it's in development now. That's awesome. The Deluge is amazing. The Deluge... Hot take. The Deluge doesn't need synthesizers or samplers. The sequencer is enough. I think the Deluge sequencer should be that's what they should pivot from, making the Deluge and just make Deluge sequencer. Make it a Eurorack module. And make it it can contend with the Oxy 1 and the S1 from Torso. Just the sequencer. That's all I want. I love its sequencer. It's dope. Polyend could do it. If maybe they will do it. I don't know. The Deluge folks haven't done anything since the launch of the Deluge. It's been so long. They don't have a new hardware revision. I'm kind of surprised. And maybe they're working on it? I hope so. If they make a Deluge V2, oh my god. What if Deluge V2 was at Super Booth? I'd buy that in a heartbeat. That'd be so awesome. With like all new synth engines. Good synth engines. I don't care for the Deluge synth engines. Even with the new firmwares. Not my thing. They're okay, but not my thing. They did add a better screen to the Deluge. I think the Torso can do that too. Yeah, and the Torso can do anything. Wait, what are you talking about? No. Community firmware, it's not the same. That doesn't count. New firmwares on old hardware does not change the game for me. I need new digital audio converters in the Deluge. That's what I need. I need better sound quality from the Deluge. Not that I love that machine. I've owned it for years. I don't have one anymore, but I wish I still did because I loved it. I really did. I loved it. But when I compared the sound quality from my Deluge to my Digitakt, I couldn't. The Digitakt just crushed it in sound quality. That's just my opinion. I even feel bad doing this on stream. I don't want to say anything bad about the Deluge because I love Rohan and what's the other cat's name that works with him? I feel bad forgetting his name. I love what they're doing. I love their machine. I just have a particular sound that I like better, and that happens to be the Electron boxes. Even running all of this gear through this colors the sound a bit, because this is doesn't have, I think this is 4816 for its sample rate, and I do have 4424 here. So we're going 4424 into 4816, and it does change my sound quality to a place where I'm like, sometimes I'm thinking I might take it out because I love how crisp my sound quality is here. But what I did to battle that, and it seems to have worked, what I did is I actually you can't see it. I don't know why I put this back over. You can't see it. It's in the corner. Analog heat is back in my main mix, and I'm using my bass to mono on it, and I'm using the heat. I'm giving it saturation, and I think it did a good job. And I'm boosting the highs and the lows a little bit just to bring some of that back, and it does work. You have 150 gigabytes of multi-sample orchestra stuff on the Deluge ready to go whenever. I mean, that's sick. You know what I was looking at? And I saw the Deluge was on one of the lists for this was the Sample Robot 6.6. It's $275 for the Pro version. But you just set it up. I was thinking I was going to make some sample packs, some actual wave file sample packs, not like a sound pack for Electron Box, but like a sample pack of my Prophet 5. Not that there's not already a million out there. Maybe I'd have to do my modular because at least that's a little more unique. But make some multi-sampled instruments of modular synths and the Prophet 5 so that I could put them on the OP1 field and also put them on the Deluge and use them on the Digitakt and the M8 because there's ways to get semi multi-sample vibes from doing that, but it's like the process of actually making a sample pack is really, really long. A sample robot automates that for you. And it will automatically detect the best looping point, and it will save that in the file too. So I'm like, that's really cool. Like I don't have to do any work. I just set up my velocity layers. When I was becoming a Bitwig certified trainer, this was something that was one of my presentations. I had to present how to create something. What I built was a Hocketing machine, a Hocket machine, however you say that. So it was like a multi-sample drum, but each layer had a different drum sample on it. And so when you change the velocity, it went through and changed all the drum layers. So I got very familiar with multi-sampling and how incredibly long the process is to do it. It's a very long process, and setting up all the velocity layers and all of that. And we learned it in music school when I went to music production school, but it's a pain in the ass. So I would pay $275 to have a program do all that work for me. I don't want to do all that. I really don't. I just want to make music, but I do want to have better sounds in some of my devices. Like I don't want to use the M8 synth engines all the time. They sound sick for sure, but I like very particular to like my Moog grandmother, and I'm very particular to my Prophet 5 sound. You know what I mean? Like I love those sounds, so I want to sample them, but with better quality, so a multi-sampled version. And if I get 88 samples in the M8, if I start at C0 or C whatever, -2 or whatever it would be with the M8, and sample 88 notes perfectly sliced, then I can make a full keyboard of perfect samples to use on the M8. You want to use 88 slices because I think that's the max that you can do. But I really love that idea. Catstein, you're really popping off on your Deluge love. Glad you like it so much. I do too. I mean, I really do. I like them all. Gotta catch them all. You know what I'm saying? Really quick, I gotta do this. These streams have to be they are paid for by Distrokid. So let's do my Distrokid and let's just talk about it really quick, and then we'll get back to polyrhythm music. So let me switch over and do my little Distrokid ad. And stick around, don't go, because I'm not done. We're still making music, but this has to be done. It must be. So check it out. This is Distrokid. Right now, we're looking at one of my pages. I'm a Distrokid user, and what I wanted to talk about today, Distrokid streamlines music distribution for you. That's what's so good about it. It's really affordable. You can get your music to all the platforms that you want your music on. Honestly, I don't even know. There's TuneCore that could do it for you too, but nobody likes TuneCore anymore, right? But anyway, forget that I said that. Distrokid is our friend. And they sponsor these streams, and I use the service, and it gets music out anywhere you want. It can get it on YouTube and get it on Apple Music, all that stuff. But what we want to talk about today is not just how easy and cheap it is, because it's really cheap. It's the cheapest distributor, and you get to keep all the money that you make from it. And I do make money on Distrokid at this point, which is cool. Not much, but I do make money. It's cool to make some money. I want to talk about this build your own website function. So here it is. Distrokid teamed up with this company called Bandzoogle. It's kind of like a Squarespace situation. If you're an artist and you have a catalog of music, or maybe you want to teach lessons, or maybe you make YouTube content or whatever, it doesn't matter. You just have music and content you want to share with people. Having a website really illustrates the idea that you're a professional and that you're very serious about what you're doing. Being a professional doesn't mean that you're getting paid a bunch of money. It just means that you're treating yourself like a professional. And having a website for your music or for yourself as an artist is something that we did at the end of music production school in college. Like, this is a staple of music production. They teach it to you in school. And Distrokid helps you do this. So if it's something that they're teaching you in school and Distrokid's doing it too, it seems like kind of a no-brainer to do it. I have a website. It's called EZBOT.live. It's where you can book lessons and communicate with me outside of Discord. So this is really cool. It makes it really easy, and it will embed your music right in your website. It's a piece of cake, and it's incredibly cheap. You just use your band name. It really, it builds it for you in 2 seconds. So I highly recommend you check it out, because you need a website. I don't know how, I wish I could be like a teacher in a classroom and be like, how many of you have a website for your music? But I think a lot of you do. I think so many people do. Hey, look, we actually got more viewers during an advertisement. Isn't that nice? Fantastic. It's not the people who fudged over Ben Jordan. That's TuneCore, not Distrokid. But everybody hates everybody, so don't worry. People hate Distrokid too. People hate everybody. Hate is like the thing that we know the best. So, if you want to get mad at them too, go for it. All right, back to our polymetric tunes. You know, let's take a break from the polymetric tunes for a second. And I'm going to go over to what we were working on last stream. Last stream that we made music was Technotrack. So I've worked on it a little bit further. So now I want to be able to demonstrate some more Performance Mixer 3.0 stuff. I'm going to be doing some updates to it this week. Just adjusting some effects, waiting for more feedback from people, because I haven't, all the feedback has just been, I like it. And I'm like, that's sick, I love that. But I would love some, you know, you can critique it. Critique me, I really don't mind. So let's use a riser to move from this pattern to the next pattern. We're going to do it on the beginning of 8. Let's go here. I can't wait to, I'm playing a show in April. And I'm excited to play this song because I didn't get to play this the last show. Because I think this is going to be a good, like, kind of minimal techno track. If we want, we can record an 8-bar loop, which will start at the beginning of the next pattern. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Loop starting to record. There it is. Hit Rec 3 again. Make sure you're highlighted on track 4 to get this done. And crossfade to that loop with scene 16. And here we go. We're in our recorded loop. And now if we want, we could do a temporary save to our sounds, do a Control-All, and just kind of like, let's mess with stuff. Maybe give a bunch of reverb and delay. Play with some stuff. Turn punch on. Change a waveform. Let's see what we did to our music. I like that I didn't even know what was going to happen. I just kind of like played with some stuff. Use a riser to get back to the original pattern. That's cool. Back into the recording. That was one of the risers, one of the new ones. Oh, yeah. Damn it. Scale off. I don't know if there's any 303 line in here that would sound good. Maybe I'm just not pro enough at 303 yet to like just every track can have it in it. Sick, right? Ridiculous. Oh wait, we need to go back there. There we go. I love this. It's so hard. This track's turned out so cool to me. I'm really digging this track. supposed to go from this. Okay. We build up to this eventually, and then we work our way over to this. Okay. I feel like the 303 is such a strong element that when I removed the 303 after adding this, I really like, honestly, the best parts of this song are just that it's like minimal techno. Like this is the best part, like this, and going, just these minor changes that are happening throughout this pattern. I do think this is a little catchy, but it might be too much. Let's do a huge build-up. Here we go. Obviously, we're not going to go from that back to the beginning. But I love this progression. Like, when I was making this song, which sounded different when I first made it on stream 2 weeks ago, this pattern didn't sound this good. It sounded a little crazy, and it didn't really fit with the music as well, except for it was in the same key and it was the same tempo. But I feel like now we have this like minimal techno progression that leads into this like industrial sound. Like, it's just a groove. Good dancing music. I agree. I think 303's gotta go. See you, 303. I think I will keep this. even though I'm impartial to it a little bit right now. But I love this. It's so hard. I'm gonna take this pattern and keep going and going and going. Goodness, I'm sampling this. So close, I almost nailed it. My dog is harmonizing with the tunes. All right, let's go to this other song. Let's see. form. With our polymetric pattern, I almost choked myself. Is it possible to do those buildups and transitions without the Octatrack? I don't think so. Not like that. Not like the way I've designed it. Like, these are... It's too, the effects use too many different effects. First of all, the effects don't exist in the rhythm. Like, you don't have phasers and choruses and stuff like that, so no. But, sounds pretty fast at this tempo. I mean, sounds pretty good at this tempo. What if we went like really slow, like 90? sounded a little goofy. Really enjoying this track. Now try it at 190. All right, let's do it. I don't know about that. I mean, it's still pretty cool. What if we just put a clap on the, like a real hard hitting. I don't know. It's hard to even make it work. Well, I guess we're not doing that. I don't know. I don't like it. Polymetrics to the max. This one, straight beat. Cool. So I hope everybody understood or understands how we generated this music, how we wrote this music, which is setting your page master length to infinity, giving it a change length, And I do recommend, if you want to do this technique and you want to use my performance templates, that I do recommend you set it up so the Octatrack is not the master and it is receiving pattern change and program change from these boxes. Or not even sending program change, just send clock to it and just leave it on pattern 1 and you're fine. Don't do it the other way around. You don't want this to be the master, because the infinite master length has a problem even when you use the correct scaling in the Octatrack. Just trust me, it doesn't work out very well. So it makes you have to manually change here. So if you want it to work perfectly, set it up with this or this box to be the master program change, pattern change master. So we set our master length to infinity. We set the change length to 128, so it works in 8-bar increments. We can move through songs through 8 bars, but none of our track scales, they're all these odd times, 5, 13, 14, 55, 63. All of them have no master scale reset, so they never reset on the 1. They always do their change their scale independently. So it creates these really cool rhythms that are repeating when you listen to them by themselves, but when you pair them with other rhythms, it sounds like the rhythms are never repeating because they're polymetric, and that's how that works. So it just sounds really cool and really fun to do with melodic sequences, especially if you pair it with the keyboard fold and using track scaling and the record plus stop to go into, oh, what the hell? Get out of here. Record plus stop to go into your step record mode, hold function, and just place notes down from the keyboard fold and scale mode right into your sequence. With your scale already being at an odd amount, it'll just end the sequence at that scale amount. So you'll just have these kind of semi-random generated notes because you're randomly programming them. Then you can add probability to them, like I did here with 50%, and you'll start getting you'll have polymetric rhythms that have randomization, and it turns into music like this. So I think it's cool. I liked it better at a slower speed, I think. Even at 90, it was really cool. Some happy hardcore. Like the infinite clicking of time. What if the clap was on the 9? That's what we did. What if it's on the 10? I think 10 actually works better. My audio again. You're enjoying seeing how I use the replay, not sure you get it? Sometimes I'm not sure I get what I'm doing with any of the devices I use. Yeah, the replay is cool. I mean, it's a cool unit. There isn't anything out right now. Like, if anybody can give me an option, I know people are like, it's expensive, it's $1,000. Like, well, if you feel this thing, it can't be that cheap, because this thing weighs a ton. It is like it's got like a 16th inch or something thick of steel, like or aluminum, whatever it is. It is really solid metal unit, and the pads are great to finger drum on, and I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It records quantized loops perfectly to the beat, doesn't even need the MIDI cable at all. It can just do it. It just beat detects and it does it. It's like, there's not anything out right now besides an RMX 1000, which is also $1,000, same price as this unit. Does not have pads, does not sample. You load samples into it. It's the same price. I don't even know why people are comparing, like, I understand why people are complaining about the price, but the same type of unit that's available right now it's got the same price tag on it with less features. So, I don't know. You have to try it out for yourselves. Go in the synth shop. Hopefully they have one on the floor. I bought this. I paid for this unit. I didn't get this for free. I mean, I traded work for it, but I traded work. Probably ended up paying more than you would pay for it, considering how much I can think my time is worth. Um, you know what I mean? So I think it's cool. I like the unit, and it does exactly what I need it to do. The only complaint I have about it is that I can't customize the effects. Like I can only adjust the depth, and I hate RCA inputs, but they work. Whatever, it's still working. And that I do feel the need to add my analog heat post mix on it, because I think it does have like a slightly different sound than what comes directly out of my Octatrack. So I throw it through the analog heat to kind of bring it back up. But I mean, that's all just my ears. Like, I don't even know if it's really happening or not. I think it is. So, I mean, this is how it sounds going through the unit. Sounds pretty good. The effects sound good. Anyway, we're not gonna do a review on it. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. So I'm glad to have something to flourish on top of like my riser effects, where I can kind of like, because once the riser effects are engaged, you don't need to do anything else, right? You just kind of let it do its thing. But now I have something to play with on top of the risers. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. Do you think Electron will ever make STH to replace the OT? I don't know. They say, that they hear us and that they know we want it, but I don't know. Maybe. I think the real trick is to find the edge between what is recognizable and what isn't. Something regular would be nice in here. What's up, Harry? Korg is similar to the SP404. No, it is not. It just has the same shape, but no, it's not. The SP404 is a music production device. This is not for making music on. You don't make music on this Chaos Replay. You're not gonna have a good time doing that. That's for sure. You can make music on the 404, and it has some features similar to this. The 404 is a workhorse for music production, and you can go play shows with it. This, you could DJ a set. This can DJ like a full DJ set with time stretch and beat match between two songs. The whole thing with the two faders here. That's a different experience. I know that 404 can do something similar to it, but you don't write music on this. You put music on it and play it on it. You don't write on it. But you can live loop with it because it's a DJ box. It's for live performance effects. That's its purpose. Yeah. Best answer I can give for you. But don't buy one of these thinking it's going to replace a 404, because they're not the same thing at all. They do not have the same functions. You could cue out the engaged transition to the effects box. You can't using my performance effects, but this has a cue mode. But using this performance template, Performance Mixer 3.0, tracks 3 and 7 are cued for a reason, because the resample track is set to record the cue. So you can't use your cue outs, because it won't go anywhere. It goes to nothing. We all love the 404. All right, folks. It's been a great stream. We learned about polymetric patterns and how to set it up on the Electron boxes. We talked a little bit about the Chaos Replay. That's cool. We had fun. I have fun with it. I think it's fun. But we made music. The most important part is that we made music. So now I have more music to play. And we went over these techno tracks, which I'm thoroughly in love with. I need to record this and release it. But I love this. Oh, wait, give me tempo back. Going from here to here. Performance Mixer 3.0. Here we go. Matt, you play keys like a great guitar player? Whatever, Harry. Yeah, I don't play keys very well, but I do play the guitar. And I can play the guitar pretty well, but not the keys. Get out of here. Get out of here, Harry. All right. It was a good stream. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And I hope you learned something about the Electron boxes and how to actually use polymetric patterns and what kind of tunes you can generate using step record mode as well. And checked out Performance Mixer 3.0, which is awesome. If you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, just leave a like and a nice comment on this video. But you can also visit patreon.com/EZBOT and get yourself the performance templates that I make. Or just subscribe to help fund an artist, whatever. You know how it goes. Patreon, help the artist. But you could also, if you want to get these templates, you can visit coffee.com/EZBOT. Otherwise, just a comment and a like on this video would be nice for me because it says that I did something that people like. And it's hard to quantify what people enjoy, you know. I'm rambling at this point. Y'all are wonderful and fantastic, and I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. Oh yeah, one last thing. Let's just look at this one more time. One more time. Tonight at the 4Bs. Come on down to Modbang at the 4Bs, 7 o'clock, starting off with Robert Tussin. Next we have Shoye. Then we have Arya Bear, and closing us out, we have our very own Blakes, who actually designed the performance template stickers that you can get at modbang.com. Come on down to the 4Bs, 7 o'clock. It's going to be a great show. I will be there hosting the show. It's completely free. It's going to be really loud. Bring some earplugs. All right, folks. Have a great night. Hope to see you at the show.